Hey YouTube, it's Rob. Welcome to my channel. I'm the Chesapeake Picker here. If you haven't checked my channel out before, I buy stuff at thrift stores, garage sales, and I flip it on eBay and Mercari for profits. So first thing I got here, Frank Castle Punisher. Picked this up at the thrift store the other day, so I'm rocking this. I thought about flipping it, but I like the Punisher, so I'm gonna keep that. That's going into my collection. We have had a monster weekend for me here. As of right now, it is Sunday at about 1 o'clock in the afternoon, and we have done $560 between Friday, Saturday, and now Sunday just during the morning. So I'm going to take you through all that stuff that we got going out and talk about some sourcing. And I'm also going to talk about some shipping tips and stuff like that that I came across this week that might be helpful to you guys. So let's get right into what sold. I think it was either my last video or the one before that. I had bought a bunch of DVDs that were UFC. So the first thing I got going out is this UFC Ultimate Fighter 3 DVD. This went out for $10 plus shipping, and I have $1.99 into it. This one here is by far the biggest sale of the weekend and helped put me up over the top there. This is a Singer sewing machine. I had previously sold this, but I got it returned in the mail. So the person that bought this basically looked like they used it for probably making masks, had it for 3 weeks, and then decided they wanted to return it. Said it worked fine, everything was great, but it didn't do what they wanted. I will say, if you have a Singer sewing machine, you know anything about it, it does everything you wanted it to do. I can't imagine what they wanted, but hey, that's fine. I had a return policy in place, so I did go ahead and accept that. Came back in the mail though, and it was not packed well. I almost challenged this refund to see if I really should give them all their money back, because when I packed this thing up, it was expertly packed, wrapped in bubble wrap, had large bubbles all around it, probably added 2-3 pounds to the weight of the thing, but it was secure. Box came into me with no bubble wrap, the fabric still attached to it from where she had been making whatever she was making, and the box was like half open. So I popped it open, tested it, it worked fine, cleaned it up, put it back up for $200, which is what the last two, this one and the other one I had sold, went for, and it sold before I had woke up in the morning. So overnight, Friday night, this thing had already sold for $200, so I packed it up and shipped it out. Another big sale here. So if you are out at the thrift stores or garage sales and you come across anything Bose, pick it up for a reasonable price. It doesn't matter what the condition is. This stuff moves. I bought this CD player radio alarm clock for $6.98 at a CHKD thrift store, and it said as is. So I didn't really know, what I was going to get, but I figured I'd take a chance on it since it was Bose. I put this up for an auction at a $30 starting price. And when I start, I don't do a lot of auctions, but when I do auctions, unless it's something that I'm sure about, I started off at kind of the minimum I'm willing to accept. So I knew it was at least worth $30. Comps on it were anywhere from 30 to 60 bucks, except for that oddball person that puts a price tag out there that's way too low, which does happen. You'll see some auctions that start off at like 99 cents and they sit and maybe they sell for like 13 bucks or something. Or worst case, they sell for 99 cents and you gave it away. But this did go for $53 plus shipping. So all in, this buyer was about $75 committed to this purchase. So I'd say that was a good flip. All right, now we got a Mercari sale going out. I had previously sold this baby Doppler on eBay, but the buyer never paid. So originally I had it up for $49.99. I sent some offers out. Well, they never paid for it, so I ended up canceling that. And I put some offers out Saturday night for $39 on eBay to a couple watchers. And about 20 minutes later, I got an offer on Mercari for $38. So I just went ahead and took that. So I have $4, $3.98 into this, and I sold it for $38 plus shipping. Now I got this Nike Georgia Bulldogs t-shirt going out. I said before, sports stuff as far as clothing tends to move. You tend to get some good money on it. Got this for a couple bucks at the thrift store, and it sold for $17.99 plus shipping. Was watching Matt the Part-Time Picker. If you haven't checked him out, definitely check his channel out. He knows a lot. He recently started selling comic books that he had picked up, so I decided to sell some of my old comic books. He's been sitting in between my basement, attic, stuff like that since I was a kid. Going back there into the 80s and 90s. And so I decided to pack them up, ship them, to put them up for some auctions. This was a lot of 54 comic books like Mercari. There's a lot of 54 comic books, mostly like Avengers and Avengers type titles. I put them up there for a starting price of $24.99 with free shipping. Basically, the way that was going to work out, you look here at my shipping station, these boxes, these comic books fit out perfect in a medium flat rate shipper. Okay, so when I'm trying to decide how they're going to go out, I need to figure out what to put them in. So when you're making your listings, don't just throw it up there with a random shipping or shipping cost too high if it's something that you can control the price on. So I'll put these up there with the hopes of at least covering $15 of shipping costs, because that's about what eBay charges to ship out a medium flat rate shipper. But they don't have to go out in a medium flat rate shipper if you can get them cheaper. With your calculated shipping costs, you can also switch over to a Region B box. So this is a Region B box. This is a flat rate shipper. They're not the exact same size, but they're pretty close. And most things that will fit in one box are going to fit in the other. So the Region B box ships out at a different rate. This is, I believe, 5 pounds and over. And I took those, I had them stored in the medium flat rate shipper, but I pulled them out, put them in the Region B box, and it only cost me about $10 to ship those out. So, or $8 to $10 it wasn't too bad. So anything, doesn't matter how heavy it is. I think it's up to 75 pounds or something. If I'm wrong, I'll throw that up on the screen and you'll see it, because I'll look that up. But you can ship stuff out at the 4 or 5 pound rate to anywhere, and it doesn't matter. The flat rate shipper is obviously anything that fits. So if you had like a 60 pound item or something like that, sometimes it makes sense to go in a Region B, and sometimes it makes sense to go in a flat rate shipper. There's no clear cut answer on which box you use all the time, but I had myself covered either way. I wanted to make about at least $10 on these comic books. Now these were not great condition comic books. They weren't carded and boarded. They were loose. Then they listed them as loose in the description. So the buyer knows what they're getting, but I at least got $10, and I actually got about $15 with what I got there. So after fees and stuff like that, it still comes out to around $10, which is what I was hoping to get. Also with that, you have your Region A box. Now my comic books were not quite big enough to fit, or were a little too big to fit in a Region A, but you see that here, they are almost there, but the Region A goes out for a 2 pound rate. So if you have something that weighs 6 pounds, 10 pounds, 8 pounds, but it's small, you can fit it in here and you don't have to worry about that calculated shipping making your product unable to move on the market for what it has. If I'm selling a 4 bricks and I want to put them in there, something that weighs about that price, I can get a 2 pound shipping rate on them and they can go out securely in this. I don't have to try to worry about ground shipping or FedEx or anything like that. So it's important to know when you're listing something how you're going to ship it, or having your options on the table so that you don't give something away for free. You know, back when I was new at doing this on eBay several years ago, I did get burned, and sometimes you end up selling something for $2-3 that you really sold for like 30 because you didn't figure out your shipping correctly. You know, if you are gonna sell something that weighs 1.5 pounds and that's what it weighs pre, you gotta figure you're gonna add at least 1 pound to it when you start packing it up, especially if it needs to be secure. All right, dogs are whining. I'm gonna go let them in. So figure that stuff out before you price yourself out of even worrying about it, because I've taken a loss on things in the past. It has been a long time since I've done that, but I have shipped things out for free that were big ticket items, things that I didn't make a mistake on, like the occasional eBay thing where a free shipping comes in. That burned me a couple weeks ago, where I shipped something out, sold for $1 plus free shipping, but it was like a media mail thing. So I lost a couple bucks on it, but I made the customer happy. It's not worth causing any problems over, but that's a rare thing. And just watch out also when you're setting up your listings on eBay that they don't check it off as free shipping, because occasionally a little bug in there comes up, and I think that they check them off that way. Another lot of comic books going out. Again, these are out of my own private stash, so I bought these a decade to 3 decades ago. Most of the money probably came from my parents actually when I was a kid. But this was 19 Star Wars comics. Nothing in here fantastic. There were some that were close to complete runs, like 5 of 6 and things like that I probably would have listed separate, but I didn't have number 5 or something like that. So I allotted them all together, put them on auction, and these went for $13.50 plus shipping. As far as putting these out, I put some cardboard around, put them in a poly bag, taped some cardboard around them, and I stuffed those into a bubble wrap flat rate shipper. So they only cost about $7 to ship out. It was about £1.50 all in all. So doing it that way allowed me to send it out and still make some money on it, or not have the price charge shipping. So I guess I could have charged what I wanted, but I just charged an $8 flat rate instead of a calculated shipping. So I didn't have to worry about somebody not wanting to bid on them, because it'd be $15 to ship out this 2 pounds of comic books to California. Another UFC DVD. This went out for another $10 plus shipping. Again, $2 into it, and it's out. Another 12 comic books. This was a Fantastic Four Silver Surfer set of books. Again, nothing in here fantastic aside from the title, and nothing that was super collectible. I put them up for a starting bid of $5.99, and I got 1 bid, and that's it. This person has yet to pay, but I'm hoping that they do, and I don't have to relist the item. But I sent out a payment reminder. Got another couple Outsiders books, went out for $1.99. I'm not going to bother flashing those up on the screen, but those have been pretty consistently bringing in a little cash. Another item out of that Lionel Trains lot that I picked up off of HiBid a while back. This is just 2 plastic light posts. Put these up for $5.99 plus shipping, and a buyer bought them. Another vinyl record going out here. This is Fats Domino, not a super collectible one, but it went out for $2.99 plus shipping. Got a message the other day about this Corningware dish. There's no lid to it or anything like that, so I couldn't sell it for as much as I want, but I got about $1 into it at a garage sale or a thrift store, I don't remember which, and she asked for the dimensions, because I just put the numbers on the back. I didn't actually measure the thing and put it up, but she was looking to replace hers that broke. And most of the time when people ask you dimensions and stuff like that, doesn't really lead to a sale. They just never answer you again or move on. But she did buy it about 10 minutes later, so $9.99 plus shipping. All right, so when you have an item that you think should sell for pretty decent money, but the comps on it don't match that, look at your item closely. So that's what I did with this one here. This is a cassette tape of The Highwaymen, and sold comps on this. This is new, sealed. I mean, it's a cassette tape, but it's still new and sealed, and people do collect those. You've probably seen me flash a bunch of cassettes up if you've been watching this channel. But the sold comps on this were only like $1 or $2. So I'm like, what is going on? Why is this thing so worthless? And I'm looking at it. Waylon Jennings, Johnny Cash, Willie Nelson, Chris Christopherson. Even if you're not in country music, you probably at least know who 3 of those guys are. So I looked at the other listings. All they said were Highwaymen cassette, $1.99, 99 cents, $2.50. I decided to take a swing on this one. I got a bunch of these things up. If it sat for a while, no big deal. It's not like it takes up a bunch of space in the old cassette drawer. But I put this up for $14.99 plus shipping. I also, in the title, threw the names of the people that are singing in it. So I got Johnny Cash. I got Willie Nelson. Those are names. Everybody knows those guys, right? And it's sold. So take a little bit of time with your listings if it's something that you think has more value than the current market shows, because somebody out there is looking for something, and not everybody knows what the Highwaymen is. I had never heard of the Highwaymen before. For all I knew, it was a TV show in the 80s, but it turns out it had a little bit more value to somebody out there. Just got to phrase it right. Another wrestler going out. This is a TNA Jeff Hardy. This is a smaller one. Most of the ones I have are 7-inch, but this is only a 6-inch one. I sent an offer out on this one, and they accepted for $17. And those go out with free shipping every time on the wrestlers. You can let me know down in the comments if I mispronounce this one, but I got another wrestler here. This is Chris Benoit. This one looked a little bit more collectible when I put it up based on the pants and stuff that he was wearing, this Ariel or whatever. Again, I'm not a wrestling guy, but I know that these things are worth money to people. So I put this one up, and it sold for $32 with free shipping. So a couple weeks ago, I picked up this Masters of the Universe Season 2, Volume 2 box set for 50 cents. I had originally put it up for, I think, $42.99. Sold comps on this had started to drop a little bit, but they were still pretty consistent. But I got an offer of it for $34.99, and I went ahead and accepted that. So $34.99 plus shipping, 50 cents in, not a bad return. And I got one more wrestler here. This is a lower priced one. This is Mysterio with his blue mask and outfit on. Still went out for $6.99 with free shipping. Costs about $3.30 to ship it out. So still making some money there. So now I've been doing Mercari a little while, and I had Jeff, one of my subscribers on the comments, wanted to know how Mercari was going for me. I have got 5 sold items on there. I have started to put some more stuff other than just hats and shoes and shirts on there. Like you saw, I put up that baby Doppler, and one more thing I put, I hadn't said, I got one more sale. This is the, picked this up last week at a thrift store, the Camelback Pectine, new in the package. This went out for $32 plus shipping on Mercari, and that went out just a £2 rate. So Mercari, if you're going to list stuff, you may want to price it a little high or be willing to accept offers. I have not sold anything on there that has been full asking price. Somebody always sends me an offer. So you can either hold your ground and just, wait until somebody pops that along, but the way it seems to be set up is that it's encouraged that people try to barter with you. So if you're not willing to budge, you might not have too much success. Doesn't mean you won't sell things. I'm sure there's plenty of people that sell on Mercari that sell stuff at full asking price. But like I said, I have yet to get anything on there that somebody's bought just as is. Okay, it's $50, I'm paying $50. It's $12, I'm paying $12. They're always sending you messages and stuff. So-and-so like this item, you want to drop the price? Why don't you send out an offer? That's kind of how the system works. So some pluses to it. It's another way to get eyes on your product. So people are using a lot of different markets out here. So Mercari's good to get an extra set of eyes on it. Once you have your listing built, it's very easy to create a Mercari listing. I just copy the title, I plop it over onto there. I upload my pictures that are already saved on my phone. If I went back and deleted them, I just screenshot them. It doesn't even matter the format. You don't have to change the format. Listing from your phone, it'll crop that out. So when I pop up my what sold stuff on the screen and you see everything on there about the shipping and all that, it just crops that out. So you're just left with a nice white square. And then the descriptions and stuff are pretty easy. It's just a few drop-down menus, and really the tough part is the shipping. So deciding whether to ship with them or ship on your own depends on the item. For the Camelback Pectine, that was shipping out for I think $11 with them, and with eBay or with USPS standard, you're going anywhere from $8 to $15 for the same 2-pound item. So I just decided to go ahead and go with their $11, split the difference, keep it simple. But I don't do that on everything because small first class items I can ship out for $3.50 and they want to charge the buyer or me $4.99. So it really just depends on that. But if you're cross listing, it's easy to do, and once it sells, you just go ahead and you take it down on the other market, which is what I do. I just sold this Rutgers thing a couple hours ago, and I just went ahead as soon as it sold and I removed it off eBay. So I guess you're spending a little extra time to create multiple listings, but how long would this thing have sat on eBay? I don't know. It might have been sitting there for months. So, but the right person came along that wanted that item, and they weren't on eBay at the time. They were on Mercari. So you got to go where the market is, and it's easy and it's free. So if they charge you a flat rate of $10, or of 10%, and you don't pay when it lists. So it can just sit there for free. Whereas eBay, if you have a store, you get discounts and stuff like that. But if you're just starting out and you don't have a store, then you're paying for that. And how long are you going to pay to keep relisting that same item? If it's 25 cents or $1, whatever it is, you're paying that every month to relist it, or it's just tying up space. I'm not trying to break the bank on every item I sell. I'm trying to turn profits, and I'm trying to maximize my profits without squeezing every penny I can out. So I want to move out. I'm willing to make deals on most things. So it works for me. And I usually do my cross listings when I'm sitting and having a cup of coffee in the morning. So while I'm sitting there where most people would be browsing Facebook or the news or whatever it is, I'm cross-listing while I would do that. So I'll knock out 10 of them or so while I'm just sitting there having a cup of coffee, and I'm good to go. So got my GoPro in. I think I showed that in the video the other day. I went to go set it up to take it out on my sourcing trips this week, but I don't have all the attachments I need. I needed a case and I need something to clip it onto like a backpack. I just kind of thought that would be in there when I looked at all the attachments, but I don't have a case. So ordered one of those off of eBay. That's coming in this week. So hopefully next week you'll start to see some videos of me going out and sourcing. But I want to just show you a couple things I picked up today. So I picked up this Monopoly. This guy had a lot of stuff that he was selling. He had like 15 different Monopolies that were all new, sealed in the package. So he was a collector at some point or a flipper and decided to get rid of stuff. But he didn't exactly price everything to sell. He wanted $15 a piece on all these Monopolies. And some of these sell good, some of them don't. It depends on what you have. There was a lot of sports related ones that, you know, I could have made a little bit of money on, but I don't know if it's worth spending $15 a piece to turn a $20 profit. But I asked if he was willing to make a little deal. He asked if I was buying more than one, and I said yes. So he sold them to me for $10 a piece. So first one I got is Star Wars Monopoly Original Trilogy Collection. I already have Star Wars Monopoly, so I don't need to add this to my collection. But this is, so I spent 10 bucks on it, and sold comps on it are $29.95 or $29.99 plus shipping. So that's what I put it out as. And then the most exciting pickup of the weekend was this one here. This was at that same garage sale. This is I Love Lucy Monopoly. Again, new, sealed in the package. And this one's a collector. He knew what I was doing when I picked these up. He offered them 2 for 10 bucks, and he says, which ones you get? And I picked these two. They're the best ones. So this guy here, sold comps on this are anywhere from $60 to $90. There's only a few up right now, so I put it at $85 with free shipping. So at the most, it's going to cost me $15 to ship out. So for what, 85 plus 30, and it only cost me $20. So we're gonna make a nice profit on these 2 items alone. Because that's all I got for today. So please remember to hit that like button and subscribe to my channel. Really helps me out a lot. And I will see you guys next time.